Hello and welcome Mindset Monday. I apologize. I'm jumping on a little bit late. I was stuck on another call, but um, yeah, 8 minutes late. So, okay, I'm going to jump right in. If you're joining live, welcome. It is every Monday I jump in here because I want to help you with free coaching and tips and support so that you can get past what's holding you back from reaching your goals. Okay, because it's not about get ourselves to take the action. And so what we're talking about this week is, and we talked, and last week, right now, is a lot about stress eating. The reason is because we are in the middle of our 4-day Stop Stress Sabotage Eating for Good 4-day challenge. Night one was last night. It was fantastic. So much energy and some great feedback. So if you are interested in getting access to the bonuses, the challenge guide, the replays in your email every day, then in the comments below, go ahead and put comment register, and once I'm done later this afternoon, I will make sure I get the registration link to you and can get you the replay from last night. But so I just want to mention that. Then so we're talking about stress eating again, because here's the thing. What I find when I talk to women is they're talking to me about obsessing about food, out of control eating, nighttime snacking and binging and cravings. And they don't always necessarily call it stress eating. But here's the thing, a lot of times what they don't understand, and a mistake that gets made, is not recognizing stress when it's going on in our lives, the types of stress that we have. And I talked about this last night in the replay, and I'm sorry, in the replay, in the challenge. And I wanted to drop in today in here and just clarify this, because I think this is really important, that for women who struggle with out of control eating, not being able to say no to the sugar or the salty snacks, okay? We need to understand that we have stress in our lives in different forms, okay? There's the stress where we're worrying about all the things we need to do, right? Juggling the kids and the schedules and work and caring for elderly parents and making sure we're connecting with our spouse or our partner and social life, now that we can actually get out and socialize a little bit this summer. But then there's other stresses in our life that we don't always recognize as stress. So, for example, there's environmental stress, right? The foods that we're eating, toxins in our home or environment, um, the types, noise pollution, right? Loud noises, those types of things can be stressful. Okay. Then we've got just kind of daily stresses that are part of our lifestyle, being on our phones, right? We've got our phones, we're on them all the time. Oh, I have a couple texts. Checking them all the time, being pulled in. And then if you're employed and you have a job and you're working from home, what a lot of us have found over the last year is, yeah, there might be some benefits to working at home. There's certainly some not so great parts of it, but the boundary between work and home has become really blurred. And so we feel like we're always having to work, always on call. Okay. But being on call for work and being on call for our kids and our family at the same time, that can be stressful, right? Thinking about the fight that we had with a friend last week, getting off a phone call with our mom. For some of us, that can be very stressful. There's worrying about whether we're going to be able to pay all the bills. There's all these really kind of undercurrent, what I call micro stressors, which really, they are not life threatening, right? I mean, or they're not really dangerous. There are bigger stressors in our life: moving, divorce, a job change, right? A global pandemic, right? There's big stressors, but then there's these little micro stressors that happen every day. And because we've become so normalized to them, we're so accustomed to it, they don't register. We don't think of them as stressors. It's just normal life. Oh, I'm just busy. I'm just really busy, right? Well, busy means that you have stress in your life. And for those of us who, if you're anything like me, We are women who we've got goals. We like to get things done, right? We like to be busy, okay? Because we've got plans and we want to get things done and we're the ones who step up and take care of everybody, manage the house, whatever it is. But without a way to manage the stress, it will start to really build up and it really takes a toll on our system. Okay, so let me know if that's you. Tell me if you are someone who is really is that woman who wants to be doing all the things. You've got plans, you've got goals, you're juggling all the balls. Let me know in the comments, okay? And if you're watching the replay, I didn't say this at the beginning. If you're watching the replay, put replay in the comments because I want to know who's here, who I can connect with, and who's catching this. So put replay in the comments if you are watching the replay. Okay. So here's what you need to know, okay? When we are talking about out of control eating that is in response to different stresses in our life, I've already mentioned lifestyle, there's environment, there's emotional stress, okay? Uncomfortable feelings. We use food to numb out. Oof, I did that for a long time, using food to numb out from loneliness or anger or frustration or overwhelm. But what happens is when we numb out from those those not so great feelings, we end up numbing out from the good feelings too, from joy and love and peace. We start to numb out and happiness. So we start to kind of just numb out from all of it. And that's how I was for a long time until I turned things around with the work it's why I do what I do now. Okay, so there's the emotional stress. There's the mental stress. It's the worrying, the thinking about deadlines coming up. Are we going to have enough money? Are we going to be able to do the things we want to do? Are we going to need to start wearing masks some more again? Are we, all these different things that we worry about creates this mental stress. And so what happens is, for those of us who struggle with food, and I have been in that category, when we struggle with food, we reach for food as a way to feel better. And it works so well. If you've been listening to my videos for a while, you've heard me say this food works really well to make us feel better for about like 2.5 minutes, right? Or the amount of time that's actually in our mouth, like 11 seconds. Okay. It lights up the pleasure centers in our brain. It is easy to get at, it's accessible, it's everywhere, right? It works. But we end up sabotaging our progress to getting us to where we want to be, feeling good in our bodies, feeling confident in ourselves, being able to show up the way that we want to. So instead of using food and ending up sabotaging ourselves, okay, instead we need to understand what's really happening in our bodies when we have stress on us, okay, which is pretty much every day. Okay, because it's not about finding another perfect meal plan or Googling, some new green smoothie recipe. It's understanding what are the triggers, what's causing me to reach for food, what's happening in my body, and what are simple practices that really some of them have nothing to do with food that will help me turn down the volume on my stress response. Because there's a difference between stressors, right? These things that I just talked about that create stress, and how we respond, our stress response. And if we can accommodate and increase our capacity, our ability to respond better to stress, then we don't have the cravings as much. We aren't diving into the chips and we're halfway through the bag before we even realize it, right? And then as we unravel that, peel back the layers, then we can actually get on with what it is we want to do, whether it's fitting into last year's jeans or feeling confident in our bodies or undressing in front of our partner with the lights on, right? Whatever it is, we got to deal with this stress eating. So getting to the root of stress eating. Okay, like I said, it's not necessarily about the food. So I hope for those of you who are watching that hits home, you get that. You've heard me say it before. Our struggle with food, it's not about the food. We got to look at what's going on. Okay. So Stress is all around us. We got that. Now, when I'm going to go over 3 parts that you need to understand, and this is what I wanted to talk about with you today. Okay, so first of all, first part, this is what we're talking about tonight on day 2 of the Stop Stress, Sabotage Eating for Good challenge. Number 1 on night 2 tonight, I think I got that right, is how our brain is hardwired to drive us to M&Ms and chips. It has nothing to do with willpower and motivation and self-discipline. Nothing. It's how our brain is hardwired. It's a primal survival state. Okay, so I want you to drop the judgment that, oh, I don't have enough willpower. I feel weak. I can't get, what is wrong with me? Those type of toxic thoughts are not helping. They are just creating and compounding. They're creating more stress. They're compounding the stress that you already have. Okay, so number 1 is stress starts in our brain. Number 2 is how our hormones, our stress hormones, are hijacking our body, driving our cravings up, hijacking our metabolism, and adding on abdominal fat. Cortisol, stress hormone, increases abdominal fat. It happens. Okay, so understanding how to be able to turn down the volume on that hormone response in our body. Okay, and knowing how to take simple strategies and make them work in your daily life, because you're the expert on your life. I don't know what your life situation is about. Some of you I've, and we've been in messages and I've interacted with you. I know little bits and pieces that you've shared with me, which I love connecting with all of you, but you're the expert on your life. So, going and Googling top 10 ways to reduce stress, that's not going to be super helpful because those are just 10 strategies that some blogger wrote about who has no idea what your life is like. You're the expert in your life. So finding ways, and this is what I'm going to be talking about on the last day, day 4 of the challenge, is how to take strategies and actually make them work in 10 minutes or less, a lot of them 5 minutes, so that you can accommodate, improve the way you respond to stress, so that all these things that are coming at you, they don't affect you as much. They don't send you off the deep end into brownies and ice cream and leftover pizza. Wouldn't that be amazing if you just, all that tension and franticness and the mental whirlwind that goes on, that just, it doesn't happen as much, because you're lowering your stress response. You're turning down the volume on the hormones. You're working with your brain instead of fighting against it. Okay, so if you're joining today, whether you decide to join the challenge or not, anybody's invited. I'd love to have you join. But if you decide not to, okay, if your eating is sabotaging your efforts, then what I want you to do is to step back and drop any judgment you have on yourself. Oh, I should be doing better than this. I can't believe what's wrong with me. And instead use strategies, simple strategies, to start to improve your ability to handle the stress that's already present in your life. Okay, because the stressors aren't going away, right? They're not. But we can change how you show up in your day. Okay, so these strategies can be anything from meditation, breathing. I'm going to be sharing some really specific ways to do that I share. All the strategies that I'm sharing in the challenge are the same exact ones I use with my clients in my VIP coaching program. The same exact ones. So for those of you who are coming, thank you, Katrina. It's great to see you. I want to do all the things and do them perfectly, I know. And when I don't live up to my unreasonable expectations, it causes stress. So thank you for sharing that. And here's the thing, right? You understand, because we've been working together for a while, you and I, that it's not that it's our own expectations of ourselves that's actually creating the stress. We do that to ourselves. And so learning how to shift that, we can start to relieve that stress. Right? Christine, can it be called a stress when I'm trying to get my gym workout in and juggle seeing my friends? I keep busy all day without rest now. Well, you tell me, does that feel stressful? Or Does that feel freeing and you're relaxed through your day, right? So you can have a very full day, but how you think about it and talk about it can be very different. There's a big difference between I've got a jam-packed day and I feel tense about it and I have all this pressure to do all these things and I have a stressful day. Or you can change that to I've got a really full day of things that I love to do and I'm really looking forward to it. Same schedule in your day, just two different perspectives, right? Uh, you're not frantic. Okay, great. Great. So if you feel your energy is good, right? And here's the thing when we're talking about food, are you diving into food? Do you feel like you're getting triggered? If you're not, awesome. Enjoy your day, right? Yeah, right. And Lisa says it's never about the food. I've learned that over the years, right? It's not. It's not. It's about what's going on underneath. And that's why, you know, in our coaching program, on our coaching calls, yeah, we talk about food a little bit, but we talk about a lot of other things, right? We're talking about our family dynamics and our expectations and how expectations we have of ourselves and other people and other stressors, right? Because that's where the work happens. That's where the change happens, not in finding the perfect recipe for another green smoothie, right? Okay. So thank you for joining. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Again, if you are watching and you want access to the live challenge, so that you can get your specific questions answered, I'm going to be streaming into the Facebook group here, but I'm not monitoring that during. So if you want to come on live with me and get questions answered, you want access to the replays, you want access to the challenge guide that has specific strategies in there and the bonuses I'm going to be offering, then you need to register. So put register in the comments and I'll reach out later today to get to all that, to get you hooked up. Okay? Okay, you are welcome. Everyone have a great day. Take care.